What's up guys, it's Anthony from AB Fitness, and today I'm going to be discussing a belt. Should you be wearing a lifting belt when working out? That is the key phrase right there. I see, and there used to be a nickname for them and I just can't remember it, but it's like the gym bros, who these guys would come into the gym, they'd be wrapped up from head to toe, wrist wraps, elbow pads, knee sleeves, knee wraps, a belt, and they're benching 135. Now, there's nothing wrong with benching 135, but the point is that do you need to be wearing all this gear all the time, every single time you work out? So I am a natural lifter. I've been competing in powerlifting for many, many years, and I got really, really strong not using a belt. So I've got my squat up well over 500 pounds without a belt. Same thing with deadlifts, well over 500 pounds without a belt. So I'm gonna give you my background and kind of how this all happened. So I was that gym bro in the beginning because when I started, I followed Arnold's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, and he said you need a belt, knee wraps, all these things. So that was me. That's why I can make fun of that person. But in the beginning, I was using any type of belt that I could find. They had those little like leather ones, they had like those neoprene ones, the ones that are really flexible. So you have to know what the belt actually does. So I was wearing these belts, and one day I went for a max attempt and I actually hurt my ribs using the belt. And I was so painful. I hurt my back on another occasion actually using a belt. So I said, you know what, forget this. I'm not using a belt anymore. I'm done. It hurts. For me, it's just, I guess I was wearing a belt that was too big at the time and it was digging into my ribs, and it was actually very, very painful and was causing me to get more injured. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm never wearing a belt again. Remember, your core, which consists of your abdominal wall and your lower back and every muscle in between, is actually a real lifting belt. That is the purpose of your core, to keep your body tight, to keep you stabilized while you lift. So by not using a belt, you essentially strengthen up your natural core. So what I did was I stopped using a belt, and I just said, forget it, I'm just gonna lighten everything, and I'm not using a belt. And then I kind of reverse engineered it, and I got really strong not using a belt. So my advice to you listening to this is, even if you have a pre-existing back injury or something that makes you feel like you need a belt, if you're reliant on a workout aid to get through a workout, that's a problem. So you need to cut it all out, rebuild back your strength, start with nothing, and then continuously build up your strength, and you'll be surprised just how strong you actually get not using a lifting belt. So I did add a lifting belt back in once I reached a certain point because I wanted to push it in powerlifting and get further than I did, and I did, and the belt does help. Again, you have to use it correctly. There's a lot that goes into actually using a belt correctly. But besides that, when I'm not training for a competition, I never wear my belt. Doesn't matter if I'm doing rows or any other movement, I never wear the belt because I want my natural belt that I have on, my core, my stomach, my lower back, to be as strong as humanly possible. Because let's face it, we want to build all this strength in the gym, but when we're building the strength in the gym, the carryover's to outside. If I'm playing with my kids, or I'm throwing around my son, or I'm playing around with my daughter and we're just messing around, whatever, I'm picking my kids up, I don't want to have to put a belt on to play with my kids. It's the same thing. You want to have that natural strength. So the way you develop that is not using a belt and not relying on that as a crutch to get through everything. So if you're wearing a belt, if you were like me in the beginning where you were wrapped up from head to toe like a mummy, take it all off, focus on building raw strength, and you'll see that carry over to everything in your life, and you'll see how much stronger you actually get. If you like this stuff, make sure you leave us a comment, like, and click that link below if you're interested in finding out more about how I can help you get to that next level, and I'll catch you on the next one.